I got a serious fucking question for you. I'm talking like, this is probably the most important question you'll ever be asked. Should you fail to answer it the correct way, there will be severe consequences. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you sure? I don't think you are.
Not really, but yeah.
Yeah, well, at least you're honest. I'll give you that much. This is the question. Strap in. Was this fucking shit badass, or was this fucking shit badass? Notice how I gave you no option but one.
It was pretty good. No, it's actually dazzling and spectacular.
That's what the critics say in
Yeah.
in the back of this box. This was your first time seeing Gladiator. I actually had not shown it to you, namely because I knew there existed an extended cut, and I had never bought the extended cut until recently.
Because you're not a true Russell fan.
Because I am a true Russell fan, I had to wait for the extended cut for more Russell. The more the merrier, they say, and that's especially true with my boy Russ. But this was your first time, man, and we're going to talk about this movie. This movie came out at the peak of my high school career, so to speak. And it was one of the movies that I just kept going to theater and watch as much as possible. It became a favorite, you know what I'm saying? And it's still one of my favorites. I watched this recently for the extended cut. That was my first time watching the extended cut. And even though it's been out for over a decade, easy. And it was pretty fucking awesome. But I want to know what you think. We're going to discuss this bastard. If you haven't seen Gladiator, who the hell are you?
Me, a couple hours ago.
That's true. Apparently you're a resident of Papua New Guinea because only they haven't seen it. And maybe they have. Chewing on fucking limbs and watching, Gladiator. It's their movie night.
I just got like the smell of bird, and I'm painfully aware that it's me. So let's get to it.
Let's get to it so you can get to scrubbing. So Gladiator is a story of Maximus Decimus Meridius, who is the bane of the existence of a petulant and, shall we say, power-hungry would-be emperor.
Wiener.
Played by Joaquin Phoenix, named Commodus. And yes, like you said, he's a complete fucking wiener. As we were watching this, I made the observation that he's basically Trump.
Yeah.
He, if there was Twitter back then, he would have been tweeting against virtually a dead man.
Yeah.
So like fucking Maximus would have been John McCain, I guess. But anyway, yeah, this is the themes behind this movie are pretty relevant even to this day. So that's my first pro, and this that I really like a lot of the thematics in this movie, but most of all, the idea of how the people have a lot of sway, and it's only the matter of their leader that determines where that sway goes. It doesn't positively portray people either.
Yeah.
It's pretty like, look, these masses can be shit.
It's not like that Spider-Man 2 moment where everybody's a saint and shit.
Yeah.
And these people stink.
Yeah, really, the people are portrayed as how we normally are. We're fickle and hateful, prone to great evil, but if the right person is in place, we can do great things.
I like how the first thing I said was their snaggletooth.
Okay. The ultimate sign of evil is snaggletooth.
Yeah.
So I'm fucked. Anyway, yeah, man, that's a big pro for me. It's pretty awesome. It's a great binding theme throughout the movie that I particularly enjoy. But there are many other themes in this, and they're all pretty fucking awesome, dude. They're just not anything that doesn't propel this movie forward and makes it completely enjoyable the whole time. So that's my first pro. What's that little pro there? I'm just gonna say it right out. There's no fucking cons in this list for me. It's pretty much a perfect movie in my opinion. So no cons list for me. But
Russ, I had Russell to steal Crowe. It before you said it.
I kind of gave that to you. You thought that's what I was gonna say first, but I avoided it, and now you stole my moment from me.
Yep.
Yeah, my boy Russ is pretty fucking awesome.
He's pretty rad, dude.
Maximus is, of course, one of the great cinematic characters. It pretty much was a career maker for Russell Crowe. Even though he had already made a little flick or two that had gotten some notice, this was a pivotal moment, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
Not only that, but everybody pretty much in this movie fucking rocks. Would you ever heard of Jamon Hanzu had it not for this movie?
And his massive ass.
Dude, his fucking buttocks is immense. What the fuck, man?
This is the greatest thing that this movie did. It brought us his humongous badonk. It's like, damn, dude. Got donk.
The final credit was Jamon Buttocks Hanzu in the end there. Yeah, man, his fucking crack is huge. No, man, the whole cast is fucking awesome. A particular favorite of mine is Oliver Reed as Proximo. Has some of the fucking coolest, like, I'm a badass and I don't give a shit about you lines, but secretly I'm kind of a cool guy.
Yeah.
Lines, and his character's kind of like if that scene in Conan the Barbarian where Conan is a slave pit fighter had been super long.
Yeah.
I like that, man. That's pretty awesome. That's a pretty little awesome dynamic he has with Russell Crowe. Yeah, the entire cast is awesome. Joaquin Phoenix is the ultimate wiener.
Yeah, he's a scum.
Pretty scummy, man.
He's not even a scumbag. He's just a pure scum.
He's a pure fucking speck of scum.
Yeah. He's got that like shit-eating face the whole time.
The little fits he throws when he doesn't get his way, when the people don't like him. Dude, he's Trump!
Yeah, he sucks.
What the fuck? Not even saying anything political here. I'm just pointing out facts.
He's lame. He's also orange.
He's very orange. This is a very orange movie, really. The cinematography in this is very orange. That being said, the cinematography is beautiful. And there's some pretty intense graphic violence in this. And that's another pro for me. That they didn't exploit that. It keeps to the realm of realism in terms of what would happen. Without, of course, becoming medically real. Where you're like, all right, well, now I'm just watching fucking open heart surgery over here. But it really added to the action sequences, which in itself is another thing that we'll talk about, I'm sure. But anyway, give me a pro, man. Give me a pro.
The action sequences. You like that?
You like how you picked up what I dropped?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it goes without saying. This is some of the coolest fucking action sequences committed to cinema. And what's awesome is that it's never a movie where the dramatic portions lag, unless I guess you have no attention span.
No.
Yeah, it leaves you wanting more of that action, but the intrigue behind the scenes and the development of these characters also keep you hooked up. So they works out. It's a great balance that they struck.
Yeah, because there's like the third half is like pretty much only talking.
But I like how half is a third.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah.
There's a lot of talking, but it never feels boring because you want to see freaking Joaquin's face smashed on the ground. He sucks.
Pretty epic, man. But yeah, the action sequences on this are brutal. They're pretty amazing. They're really fun to watch. They're pulse pounding. It's got some good. What was your favorite action sequence or spot?
I think the bit with the chariots and shit.
That was awesome. I gotta say, I agree.
Because they all come together and kick ass.
I also gotta say that these warriors that they pit them against, holy fucking shit, where did they get these monsters from? Why are they straight from a Resident Evil game?
They got Mantar in there.
Mantar. These helmets they're wearing, what the fuck?
There's a pig guy.
Look, I'm not going to say I would wear pig guy.
Dude, the pig guy got it bad, though. Yeah. Everybody else just got slashed, and pig guy got... He's the one that the message was sent with. He's like, come on, man.
You got the pig. Proverbial dildo in the butt. Speaking of that, another pro for me.
Dildos
in the butt.
Yeah, Russell
not
Crowe
related to this movie. Other than that, I guess. The music in this, man, that's another pro for me. Rousing.
Yeah.
Very good, man. It's one of those scores that you just pop in and listen to it on its own.
There is that one song. It sounds like Pirates of the Caribbean, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, well, it predates it, though, so does it win?
And it's a better version. So
way better.
So there you go, I guess.
Yeah, man, I really love the score in this. Pretty awesome. It could be rousing and highly engaging in terms of what's going on action-wise, or it could deliver some dramatic moments, subtly, or with intense emotion, and particularly, I'm talking about the end sequence, where he basically said, this is like a sacrificial lamb type of character, he sacrifices himself for the greater good, still gets his revenge. Spoiler alert, I guess. It's been fucking 18 years, people. Get on the fucking train if you haven't seen this. But particularly moving. So that's going to be another pro. Segue? You like that? the ending in this is again one of those very fucking satisfying endings.
Yeah.
We're just like, damn, I got everything, and I don't know about you, got a little water drawing up in my old eyes there.
Plus, Joaquin got shit on by a dude that was wounded.
I like how they pick Maximus up.
Yeah, and they just leave his corpse on the good. He sucked.
Yeah, that was fucking badass, dude. The first time I watched this in the theater, people were like, "Hell!" They were Maximusing. They might as well have chanted the name. They were like, "Hell yeah, yep!" Little shit got stuck, dildo up booty.
They were getting maximum enjoyment.
Oh man,
Like that.
That joke felt like a dildo.
Yep.
Russell Crowe shaped dildo.
Behind the butts, I felt great.
Yeah, man. Hit me with another one, man, if you got one.
Mantar.
Now, I'm a big Ridley Scott fan. Everybody knows this. Ridley doesn't, though, so hit me up. # Ridley. What up, homie? He hates me now.
Yeah.
That did it. And this is just another example of why he's one of the great big-budget directors. He handles everything like a fucking, I was going to say a slave master, which is horrible.
Yeah.
I was trying to tie it in with what was going on in the movie, man.
Please
then
don't.
I realized it's a horrible word nowadays. But you know what I mean? He handles
You heard it
everything.
here. Ridley Scott's a slave master.
# what the fuck, Ridley? No, but he handles everything like a tight ship, man. Everything is in place. Everything is dazzling. Spectacular, as I'm reading from the back of this thing. Great cinematography.
Oh, I
kind of hold that thought real quick. Kind of straddles between realism and like a gritty look, except when it's horribly orange. But yeah, man, Ridley Scott his directorial prowess is possibly at the peak here of his career. Anyway, go ahead.
I think another pro is the effects.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, there's a buttload of effects here because, it's not Rome.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
so
and they hold up incredibly well.
Yeah, they do look pretty. I mean, you can tell, but in the moment, you don't really.
What really gets me is that it's shocking how well they look 18 years on.
Yeah.
When nowadays we get big budget movies where you're like, ooh, that's an effect I saw.
There's that scene where when they go into the Coliseum and it's like going around them, the camera, and you can kind of tell because it's off sync a little bit, but the scene looks cool and it's like kind of like a moment that feels epic. So you're kind of like, all right, I don't really care.
Yeah.
And then you have that scene where they had to paste the face on some other guy, which you can kind of tell, but it's fine. It looks fine for what it was and what they had to do. The guy freaking died. So, I'm not going to lie, though. I knew this was a scene that was happening. I was kind of looking for it. And throughout, I was like, you know what? If it already happened, that was really good. And then it happened. I was like, oh, okay, there it is. It's not bad, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, effects-wise, and there's a lot of like gore shit in there. Not a lot, but enough for it to be. So yeah,
it's
everything looks
well
good.
done.
Yeah.
On top of that, to add to that, the costume design, set design is fucking top notch.
Mantar.
Mantar is the best outfit of all time. Look, I'm just gonna point out, you don't know who the hell we're talking about. There's a gladiator that they fight at one point.
Yeah.
That basically has like a bull on his upper body.
Yeah, like a rotting cow.
bull carcass. My question is,
he's got a little tail and everything.
Yeah. How the fuck are you going to be able to fight in that damn thing?
That dude regretted it. I do want to point out an interesting fact that everybody ended up kind of reusing the armor. With the later gladiators, you would see them wearing like the weird guy's head or the big man never got reused. You see all the other armor getting reused. The Mantar outfit did not get reused by anyone.
Look, Mantar was rotting, so yeah. But costume design, set design is top of the fucking line here. There's not a dull moment in this movie, man. It's just a steady clip. It's the extended edition almost hits the 3-hour mark. It's 10 minutes shy of it, give or take. And again, it feels like it went by at a normal clip. You know what I'm saying? So that in itself is worthy of note. I'm just going to point out that the extended edition also has another big pro for me, and it's the sequences that, now seeing them, I haven't seen them twice, especially now, I'm like, I'm not shocked that they were cut out. I understand to some degree why, but I can't go back to the theatrical. It's one of those movies where I was like, man, that scene. I mean, and it mostly has to do with the interactions with the senators. There's that tense sequence with Commodus demanding the execution of the people that supposedly claimed that Maximus was dead. You know, so just
that wasn't it?
Yeah, it's just some really good, intense, dramatic sequences.
Makes him look like butt too.
Yeah, really. And when he freaks out on the statue of his father, you know, these sequences give so much to the character of Commodus, who gets really a little bit of screen time comparatively to Maximus. So I think they really enriched that character, made him all the more hateable.
Yeah. There's also that scene where Commodus starts playing on his Commodore 64. That was a weird scene.
He was so egotistical, he just called it the Commodus 64.
Yeah.
Rome did not approve.
I like how he actually went along with that one.
Look it up, guys. Yeah. It's I swear it's in the extended edition. Yeah, man. These scenes that were added back in are really, really good, man. Just they're not throwaway scenes. They're not scenes that shouldn't be there. Every single one of them really added to the texture and fabric of the film, and especially this plot with the senators. You know, the subplot. It's there in the theatrical, but it's really substantial in the extended version, and it really, really supports these thematics of the idea of politics and the people. You know, which I think is spectacular, and it makes the movie all the more prescient nowadays. So big plus for me on that. I think, like I said, this is one of the movies that has a fantastically satisfying ending. It also has an opening that, like, if you're not engaged with that opening, you must be dead inside at the very least, and/or a corpse of a riding fucking bull.
Yeah, on some guy's head.
Starts off fucking awesome, by the way. I'm just saying. That's what I'm getting at. So hit me if you got any more. If not, we'll hit with final thoughts and a score.
I have a minor con.
Oh, shot!
And it's just kind of a nitpicky thing.
Okay.
It's got kind of that, although it is used neatly in the scene. It's got kind of that like that old, kind of like cheap looking, choppy slow mo at times. Which I've never been a fan of in any movie, because it just looks kind of cheap. But I was kind of seeing that in the opening scene, and then they kind of uses it interestingly in that extended scene where it's just showing everybody.
It's used for effect, you know, and what he's talking about is there's a lower frame rate, and it looks more like
it's like when you
war film stock.
When you go into like a new area in a game and everything's just loading in.
Yeah,
like that.
I mean, but cinematically speaking, it's used for effect and sparingly so. So I could see how, like, you know, where something like that was used and it annoyed me. It was in King Kong, the Peter Jackson version, when they were on Skull Island at first, and the tribal people, whenever they were menacing or attacking, those attacks were all shot in that style. And I was like, what is the point of this? I didn't understand the point of that. And it had no point in that movie. Whereas here it did. But I can honestly see why. Just in a visual level, it would be kind of...
Especially because so much of it is really nice looking. And then at least the version we saw was like smooth looking, you know? Like it looked like it was going at a good pace, I guess. And then suddenly that would happen and be like, whoa. But then it did lead to that cool scene with the aftermath of the battles. So, yeah, minor nitpick, I guess.
Fair enough.
Also, Russ doesn't get naked. So.
Massive con.
Yeah.
If we're going to put a con in there, it's the fact that Russell Crowe is not nude.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Jimon Hansu's massive asshole is on full display.
Oh my god, it's his asshole, man.
Yeah, you don't remember that cut scene that's only in the extended edition where he bends over and parts them cheeks?
Yeah.
Like the Red Damned Sea?
That was a good scene.
Epic sequence.
Yeah.
It's got that choppy look and everything.
Russell's like mourning his family. His asshole's right next to him.
That is kind of fucked up. But anyway, let's talk about final thoughts on this bastard. And a final score. Give it to me.
It's pretty good. I was expecting to be it to be a movie that's been talked up too much. So I was kind of be like, eh. But it was pretty damn great, and I kind of see why everybody sucks it off.
Mm-hmm.
I was entertained, and I had a maximum amount of time. Now it's time for me to go play on my Commodore 64. Also, ass.
The only game on Commodore 64 is thumb up or thumb down, and it's controlled by a dial. It's not very exciting.
That dial's like this big, too.
So give me the final score on that on a scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah, I'll give it a thumb up. I'll give it a... Oh, man, like a 9 out of 10.
Woo! I say woo because I give this stamp of approval of 11. The rare 11. It's fucking perfect movie.
I gotta take a point off for Russell not hanging dong.
Yeah, but you got the Jimon fucking butthole.
Yeah, that's a good point. 20 out of 10.
Full display.
Yeah.
Crenulations going into that crater between
his
massive cheeks.
The part where the log comes out was not great, though.
All Jimon Hanzo ass jokes aside. Yeah, dude, I love this movie. It's one of those movies that I consider to be perfect. I mean, obviously there's nothing perfect, so that's me just being hyperbolic and or willing to suck Russell Crowe off right now for an opportunity to watch him perform live and entertain me. And he's stripping, believe me.
Yeah, I was about to say, what is he doing?
He's playing the Commodore 64, and he's not entertained at all. It sucks. No, I'm greatly entertained by this movie each time. It's fucking badass. And see, it goes a long way to show how good this movie is if years of hype did nothing at all, basically, to temper your response to it. Because you're notorious for letting hype, I wouldn't say get to you, but letting hype inform your final decision. Yeah.
I hated Tom Hanks for the longest time.
Yeah, exactly. Which
and then I saw Forrest Gump and was like, oh man, it's pretty great.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean. Which is why I insist sometimes that you rewatch something because I know. I mean, I think we've all been there at some point in our lives, if not still there, where hype gets you. Sometimes it just does, you know, or especially if people are like, dude, that's awesome. You're just predetermined to be like, fuck that, I'm going to hate it on principle.
Yeah.
So it goes a long way to show, it goes a long way that you thought so highly of it in your first go-around. I can only expect that to go up, and I trust that it will, because it did for me. And I loved it the first go-around. I was like, man, going back to the theater, see Russ's massive asshole. Nope, Jimon Hanzo's. Anyway, 11. Check this movie out if you haven't seen it. If you've seen it, see it again. Why? It's awesome.
We need to see that sequel, though.
Dude, look, at one point, if you don't know this, they wanted to plan a sequel for this. Okay? Yeah. And it was basically the game God of War. Now, there is very vague precedent to that, in the sense that the movie does allude to the afterlife. Of course, he lost his wife and kids. And, you know, they talk about him being predestined by the gods and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I think it's more like...
It's a far fucking throw from where the movie is to straight up fighting gods.
It's more of a... Yeah, they took it super literally, which I think wasn't the point. So
the thing is, Ridley Scott was a huge proponent of this movie, which makes people question his sanity.
The sequel?
Oh, yeah. He was going for it, man.
Shit, you know what?
But you know what?
Do it.
We're one of the few people that absolutely loved Prometheus, hated Covenant before anybody even goes there. But
stinker.
Fuck it, and fuck it, it's Russell Crowe. If he was back, I'd be like, bring it. P.S. Bring Jimon Hanzo's ass to the underworld, and I'm in.
He's not dead yet. It's just his ass is so big that it starts dying before him.
It transcends fucking dimensions.
It was like he's fighting these gods, and suddenly there's an ass floating. He's like, what the hell?
It's like, oh man, and the ass eventually helps him win, though.
Yeah.
Because it just farts.
It stinks.
And it tunnels it into the next dimension. Anyway, check out that sequel. Extended Jimon Hanzo ass edition. Yeah, man, check this movie out. Tell us what you thought about it, because I know you've seen it. I mean, you got it, right? You're human after all.
Yeah.
Hit like, share, subscribe, and those notification buttons, because we're out.